The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
Coming up on Bloom, a new app tracking vitamin D levels from the sun, benefiting your overall health.
You can be outside for a shorter amount of time and get the maximal vitamin D benefit.
And there's a new drug up for FDA approval that could help dogs live longer.
To be involved in a study for a once-a-day medication that would help extend their lifespan.
Plus, with inflation driving prices up, we'll help you hack your financial health. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. The best way to hack your health is through preventative medicine, so you can treat disease before your health gets out of hand. And in Tampa Bay, we're lucky. One of only 7 places in the nation where people have access to this innovative scan that can detect heart disease and hundreds of different cancers in their earliest stages. It's being reported that 1 to 3 lives are being saved every day here because of this breakthrough technology. Real people in Tampa Bay who had no idea their health was in grave danger until they had the scan. It's being reported that 1 to 3 lives are being saved every day here because of this breakthrough technology. Real people in Tampa Bay who had no idea their health was in grave danger until they had this scan. Joining me now from Lifeguard Imaging is the Vice President of Business Development, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and NFL great, Martine Gramatica. Martine, it's so great to see you.
Good to see you, Gayle. How are you?
Doing really well, thanks. So major medical organizations and facilities, as well as major sports leagues, are really promoting early detection, and Lifeguard Imaging is an easy way to do that.
Absolutely, Gayle. Well, these organizations understand that with cancer, if it's detected earlier, or the earlier that it's detected, the higher percentage that the person has to survive it. But more importantly, like we always say at Lifeguard Imaging, with good quality of life, because the sooner we capture something and if it's treated and with success, you also have that quality of life, which is very important as well.
So talk to me about how this 5-minute scan works. I've done it, my husband's done it numerous times. I mean, we're big believers in this. It's so quick and simple, but it tells you so much.
Yes, our full body scan goes from the top of the shoulders to the base of the pelvis, and the way our scanner's programmed, we can see a 2-millimeter shadow, which is literally the opening of a pen. It's that small of a shadow. And we have a board-certified radiologist that's going to scan through the whole scan, spend time looking at everything, dotting every I, crossing every T, making sure everything's fine. Now, if anything's detected, the patient can take that to their specialist and have it treated.
So how can people use these scans to take their health into their own hands?
Well, I tell all my friends, family, come in when you feel good. And that's one of the things that people need to understand. You want to come in when you feel good, because if something's going on in your body, we're going to catch it early, more than likely, because the first symptom of heart disease is usually a heart attack. And then with cancer, the first symptom is usually late stage. So when the patient's feeling well, now they can take their health into their own hands by capturing something so soon or so early that it can be treated and with a higher percentage, and again, with good quality of life.
And I also want to talk about your legacy program, because I know with no strings attached, when we tell our Bloom viewers to call in and get the free heart scan, they get the free heart scan. But you also sit down and talk to them about the legacy program, which is what my husband Mark and I do. Yes,
we want to make sure that patients understand what we're scanning. We're going to show them what the full body scan scans. The legacy programs where we're having unmatched success in patients saving lives, because now if something in a patient sets a baseline and everything's unremarkable, it looks fine, but if something were to develop in a week or 2 weeks after that scan, it wouldn't be in that first scan, but it would be captured in our second scan. So our legacy program is where we scan our patients once a year for 5 years, and that's when we're having an unbelievable success in capturing things in the follow-up scans.
Yeah, and that's right, and you can kind of see from one scan to the next.
Our bodies change inside, and I've already scanned 3 times, and my scan has been different every time. Luckily, and thank God I don't have anything serious, but just as our bodies change on the outside, it's changing on the inside. So we have patients that had unremarkable great scans year 1, come back and may have calcium, and others that have a high calcium score that can reduce it now with, you know, quality of life as far as like exercising, nutrition, even sometimes medication. But now having that knowledge, you can take your health into your own hands.
Yeah, and you know, and that's something that I did on my 3rd scan that I found out. I mean, I'm fine with the heart, thank goodness, no signs of cancer. But I did see that, like my mom and my grandmother, I had the earlier stages of osteoporosis. So I'm in treatment for that. I'm taking all the right supplements, you know, I'm lifting more weights, and I'm working with my doctor on hormone replacement. So there's so many things that you can do because of this scan and the knowledge that you gain.
Absolutely, Gail. And the scan obviously is saving thousands of lives, but it also is improving the quality of lives, because now by knowing something, in your case with the osteoporosis, but in my case I had a lower back deterioration from scan 1 to 2, 5%. From 2 to 3, I was able to slow it down to no deterioration, because now I was more proactive with more core exercising, chiropractor, massage therapy, acupuncture, because I know the source or where my pain was coming from. So we can actually improve quality of life as well.
Martine, thanks so much for sharing this with our Bloom viewers.
Thank you, Gail. Good to see you.
And call today, right now, 813-582-5222, or visit lifeguardimaging.com. You'll receive a Bloom special offer, a free heart scan, when you mention Gayle or Bloom. That's a $599 value, so call today, 813-582-5222 for this special offer.
We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
We are back with ways to hack your health, and there is a new app that tracks vitamin D levels from the sun, which is great because vitamin D is said to reduce the risk of certain diseases, help improve your mood by reducing stress and depression symptoms, and get this, it can even help you manage your weight. Here with more about the app and other important sun exposure tips is triple board certified physician Dr. Lisa Coach. Dr. Coach, it is so great to see you.
Always great to be here.
So Dr. Coach, today, you know, we're talking about ways to hack your health, and I know you stay on top of everything, and now there's a new vitamin D app.
Yes, this is great because what it does is it tells you when the best time to be outside to optimize your sun exposure, meaning you can be outside for a shorter amount of time and get the maximal vitamin D benefit.
So talk to me about the benefits of vitamin D and how using an app like this could help.
Well, vitamin D is called a vitamin, but it's really a hormone. So it does so many things in the body that people don't realize, from our immune system to preventing cancer to helping our hormones work better. So it is a vital, vital component. And most people, even in Florida, are deficient when they get their levels checked. So, you know, getting that to an optimal level is of the utmost importance.
And even if you're wearing sunscreen, are you blocking the vitamin D from entering your body?
Yes, for the most part. Some can still sneak through depending on the type of sunscreen, but darker skin, so we know like African Americans tend to have lower levels of vitamin D just because of the higher amount of melanin in the skin, as does sunscreen and coverage will all block that vitamin D from getting in. So any way that we can get that exposure to more of our body at the right time of the day, which is what the app helps you figure out.
So cool. Speaking of sunscreen, you know, all we hear about the dangers of sunscreen. Do they even work? So what do you suggest to your patients?
So there's a lot out there of confusion, and I would say that first of all, make sure it doesn't have some of the toxins in it. So there's chemical sunscreens, mineral sunscreens. The chemical ones can get into the coral reefs and actually have been banned in certain states like California and starting in the Caribbean because it has led to die off of the reefs. Those also bother us. There are more of a barrier type sunscreen like zinc oxide. So those are safer. And I do tell my patients, if you're going to be out in the middle of the day, you want to use sunscreen, but get it at Whole Foods or one of the organic places where you understand the ingredients that are in it.
And you come from everything from a functional medicine approach, which makes you so popular with all your patients because you look at them holistically. Do you use that same, treatment protocol when it comes to sunburns?
Yes, and in preventing sunburns. It's so fascinating. When I really changed up my diet, started eating more of a higher fat, higher protein, lower carb, I noticed I stopped burning. And I never burned a lot, but it was like done. So when you take inflammatory oils, seed oils out of your diet, when you really work on eating clean, naturally by having lower inflammatory reaction, you're going to notice that you burn less. So that's one thing to consider.
That is so interesting that you should say that because we went down and had a vacation in the Caribbean, and I have totally cleaned up my diet, kind of followed all the eating protocols that you share with our Bloom viewers, and I noticed I wasn't burning. And I am dark complected by nature, but I still can burn, and I didn't burn at all, and it wasn't like I was just drenched in sunscreen. So you're saying a better lifestyle leads to better skin and protection against the sun.
Absolutely. And it's funny, we both noticed that. I was at a soccer tournament. I was like, I normally would have burned. I was beat down like in the middle of the day. I forgot my sunscreen and I didn't burn either. So yes, lifestyle. Also, there's a lot of questions like, do we need the sun? Skin cancers have actually increased the more we've been inside. A lot of melanomas are on areas of our body that don't see the sun. So this picture is not complete yet.
That is really fascinating. So if you do get a sunburn, what do you do? How do you treat your patients?
Topical aloe, topical silver. So these are both natural supplements or substances that come in a topical form. Keep them at home in the summer. You're in Florida if you're watching. Put it on your skin as quickly as you can, and usually it will help calm it down right away.
What else are you up to? What are some exciting things that you're working on right now?
Oh, just about everything. So I told you we have another new device. I just took it off my wrist, but there's something that is working on sending vibrations to your vagus nerve. So it's called the Apollo Neuro. They've studied the science behind subconsciously, like literally emitting vibrations, go through the nerve, comes up to the brain and helps you get back into a parasympathetic, sympathetic state of balance without having to do anything. So anything that works without you having to put in that extra time, you can be wearing this while you're at work. You can set it on things like focus or feel good or joy. And then at night it helps you sleep. It's emitting these very calming vibrations that tend to enhance parasympathetic tone. So that's just one fun thing that I'm researching.
And I've been watching you a lot on social media. I mean, you share a lot of this. You try it yourself. I know you're a part of a lot of studies. And so this is all stuff that you're channeling out to folks to just easy hacks to live a healthier life.
It's an exciting time, right? There's a lot going on in medicine that's not exciting, that have people questioning, but there's also so many exciting things. We have things we can do at home now like we never had before. So yes, I will always test things first. We do a lot of in-house studies. We're working on a quantum energy right now that we're going to be doing a test for mitochondrial function, sending out energy frequencies to 6 different patients, and then following what happens to their mitochondria over a month.
That's incredible. This is good stuff. We're going to share Dr. Coach's advice on BloomTampaBay.com. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. True or false? New research suggests that daily application of sunscreen may even reverse sun damage. We'll have the answer later on Bloom.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
Welcome back to Bloom. Our next guest has life hacks for a happier, healthier you. Joining us now from Tampa Bay Holistic Wellness is functional medicine practitioner, Dr. Dawn Molina. Dr. Molina, it's always such a pleasure to see you.
It's good to see you too, Gayle.
So, a lot of times we're looking for a quick fix to feel better, be happier, but you say a lot of it is going back to the basics, and it starts with sleep.
Well, the foundational elements of health really are what we should master. Sleep is an amazing way to fix our metabolism. There are a lot of anabolic processes in our body that get blighted if we don't get enough sleep.
Yeah, I know. When I first met you years ago, when my health was in the tank, you know, you got me hooked on this ring, and I'm still like methodically tracking my sleep every night, and it does help to get a good night's sleep and know what's keeping you from getting a good night's sleep. Another thing that I know you're really passionate about is movement and walking, and just something as simple as 10,000 steps a day, and that just involves keeping your body in motion, can also make a difference.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why cities that have greater walkability have a lower prevalence in obesity. Choosing to take the stairs or walking from a further parking space has a compounding metabolic effect that is immeasurable.
And hydration and drinking more water are critical. Especially now.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, for us, because we live in Florida, it's really hot, but most of us don't drink enough quality mineralized water. We should aim to drink at least 2 ounces per kilogram of body weight.
Okay. Another big one is to eat more protein, which I think a lot of us
struggle with.
Yeah, it's hard to fit as much of it as you need in.
Well, because it's filling, but what we need to realize is that we need to deliberately prioritize this. Every molecule that moves in our body that facilitates cellular movement is comprised of a protein. Protein is an instrumental building block for bones, muscles, cartilage, skin, even blood.
And we talked about walking, but you also say don't ignore cardio, and that means get moving, get that heart rate up.
Well, cardio and strength training, they go hand in hand. In the exercise science space, we say if you want integrity, you have strength. If you want longevity, you have cardiovascular health. Both strength training and cardiovascular health, in my opinion, are the best medicine. And
you believe that in addition to all of the things that go along with health, that how we're doing mentally and filling our cup is really critical.
I think that mental health is just as important as physical health. If we don't make time to restore our emotional well-being, that we're losing half the battle.
Now, when you work with your patients, I know that you look at everything from a holistic scope to help them. So what are some things that people need to be thinking about that maybe they're not getting when they go to their regular primary checkup? Things that you focus on.
Absolutely. Well, just make sure that you're getting your blood work annually, if not done biannually, right, twice a year. And make sure that you're checking everything. Make sure you're checking your hormonal health, your lipid health. Consider maybe even a fractionated lipid panel, which allows for you to see genetic risk factors beyond just, you know, the cholesterol that we're looking for that's dietary. Looking for nutrient deficiencies, you know, making sure that we're eating a diet that is accommodating enough protein and that has enough micronutrients that are necessary, like vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants.
And what if people, like, you know, they want to get out and do all these things that you say, from walking, cardio, lifting, but they're like, hey, I'm doing everything right, I think, but I still feel so incredibly drained. What's causing that?
Well, the number one reason is that we're not looking at the fact that we're not going to get more time. We all only have 24 hours. So I suggest to my patients to look at it as an 8-8-8 model, right? 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for personal. Unfortunately, the personal and the sleep is what ends up giving us that work hour, that work hour grows from 8 to 10 to 12, right? So if we can just keep in mind that we're never going to get more than 24 hours, and to really consider that 8 hours of personal time so we can fit in these necessary things that contribute to well-being and health overall.
What a great way to look at it, because I think when you take it in time increments like that,
it's measurable.
It's measurable, and people can start figuring out a way to balance it, because if you don't look at it with the 8-8-8, the scales start to tip in the wrong direction.
They do.
All right, Dr. Molina, as always, we so appreciate when you come on Bloom.
Thank you so much, Gayle.
And we're going to share more about Dr. Molina on BloomTampaBay.com. And stick around and find out about a medication up for FDA approval that could extend the life of your dog. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bloom. There's a drug that could hit the market that would extend the healthy lifespan of dogs. Here to explain more about longevity science is veterinarian Dr. Kat Arthur and dog mom Wendy Latore and her pup, Hugo. Thank you guys for all being here.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so this is so interesting. I mean, anything that, if you're a dog lover and you hear something about extending the life of a dog, it's like hallelujah to that. Tell me about the study and Hugo's involvement.
Yeah, so we're enrolling dogs right now through the end of the year, and we're trying to get dogs that are over 14 pounds and over 10 years old to be involved in a study for a once-a-day medication that would help extend their lifespan and make their lifespan quality of life better as well.
Now, why were you so interested in being part of this study, Wendy?
Well, you know, I've had large dogs, you know, forever, and I had Great Danes for decades, and after I lost my last Great Dane at 9 years old, I was like, I just can't do it anymore. It was too heartbreaking, right? Large dogs don't live as long as little ones. And so my friend Allison, we were in HIT class, and she said, I got a dog in this study. And I was like, if there is something out there that can extend the life of this dog, and Hugo is 12 as of March, and he's great, but that's like max, you know, for these type of dogs. So we had to go through, you had to go through a lot of paperwork. You have to prove the dog's age, the weight, all that kind of stuff. And he's a rescue, so I didn't have any paperwork on him. So I provided the doctor with a picture of myself holding him at 8 weeks, and that worked. And so then they do all the labs. They did extensive, the bloods, urine, poop, saliva, you know. And he qualified, so he has just started. Now it's a double blind, so
you don't know if he's on the medication or on a sugar pill, basically.
No, I don't.
Right, and we don't know either.
Okay, and Dr. Arthur, why is it that larger dogs don't live as long? Because 12 years for a big dog like this is pretty darn good.
So there's some theory that it's an insulin growth factor that is expressed more in large dogs that helps increase their height and weight that small dogs just don't have. So it's theorized that by decreasing the amount of this that's produced, we can increase their lifespan and their wellness of life.
Now, you know, I think a lot of people out there watching, is the study just based on older, bigger dogs, but the hope is that every dog could take this pill and live longer?
That is the hope, yeah. This is supposed to be for all dogs, but the company has focused more on large dogs because they have such a truncated lifespan.
Okay, yeah, because it's really interesting to me. I mean, you know, a dog is not in your life. I know people that calculation of 7 years for every 1 year. That might not be exactly accurate, but they don't live that long. And as you see, day in and day out, you know, dog parents really care about their animals like they're their own kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wendy, talk to me about how's he been doing on it so far. I mean, we don't know if he's on the drug or the placebo, but no real.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, it's new. He's new on the study. My girlfriend that has her dog, which is about the same weight and age, she said her dog seems to be better. Okay, and she's been on it maybe a month or so longer.
A month and a half, I believe.
A month and a half. Now Hugo's too early, and he's a funny, fun dog anyway. So I'm not sure that I'll know. But we'll be watching, and one of the cool things about the study is they do all the labs. The study covers all the labs. If there's any side effects, they take care of that. And she was just telling me the other day that should there be a reason for us that we're really concerned about the side effects of what they're taking, that they can even unmask the drug and find out if they're actually on the placebo or they're actually on the medication.
Okay, that's comforting to know, because people might be like, I don't want my dog to be a guinea pig. And so at least there are ways that the dog owner can kind of monitor this.
That was really important to me, that if there's some kind of a side effect, that they're going to take care of it, number one, but number two, they can figure that out. But the downside of that is if they are on the drug, you're done with the study. You're not back on it anymore, right? Yep. Once they unmask, you're over it. So that's a risk you have to take as well.
Okay, and Dr. Arthur, when we talk about the longevity, how many more years do they hope the dog can live?
It really depends on the individual dogs and how they respond to the drugs. So it's unclear to us right now, but the study is ongoing for 4 years. So the hope is that it will maintain life for more than a year.
And so, okay, so it's ongoing for 4 years. Do we know where we're at in the phase of the study now? Like, is Hugo one of the beginning trial dogs? And so this has to go on, they have to collect data, and the name of the game is trying to get up to 1,000 dogs nationwide to participate in this.
Right, so we started enrolling dogs in March. And so we're enrolling, I believe, through the end of the year. And then the dogs that are on the study will be on the study, and we won't be taking any more new dogs.
Okay, so there's still room for people to get
Yes,
into the
absolutely.
study? Okay.
And there's what, 40 clinics throughout the country that are
It's
doing
40
it?
or 50 clinics throughout the country.
And how did you get involved in this?
One of my friends, a teacher I used to work with at SPC for the tech program there, changed positions into a role with Loyal, which is the company that's running this, and she put a call out for people who were interested in participating in this study. So I reached out to her and I said, I'd really like to see where this product goes.
Well, unfortunately, my dog is 6 pounds soaking wet, and she's only 6 years old, so she's not eligible for the study. But and are these side effects serious, just out of curiosity?
I haven't had any serious side effects yet. I
Okay.
have 26 patients that are on the drug, and no one has had a serious side effect yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. This is really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in.
Hopefully Hugo can come back in 4 years.
That would be amazing. We're going to share more about the study on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of Tampa.
Windows reflect the beauty of your home, and you can have both the striking design and functionality with custom gliding windows. Joining me now to talk about their stylish and custom-made replacement windows for every home is Renewal by Andersen's Vice President of Marketing, Chelsea Zerpola. It is so great to see you, Chelsea.
It's great to see you, Gail.
So talk to me about, whatever the replacement style, but now there's these gliding windows. What are those?
The gliding windows really allow you to accentuate your space. So it allows it to pull from right to left or left to right. And a lot of times we're seeing that when you have that beautiful view in the back that you want to see, whether it's on the water, whether it's your beautiful oasis, it allows you to be able to maximize that space.
And we're just talking about one of the many options available, which is why people love Renewal by Andersen, because you have so many choices and you have a consultant there with you for free to help you make these decisions.
Absolutely, because oftentimes we don't know what we want, right? And we need to be guided. So our designers come in, they listen, they really understand your project so that we can custom make those windows and doors to your specifications.
And I think now is the time where a lot of people are investing in their home. That's where they're going to be, that's where they're going to stay. So you're making them more energy efficient and safer when it comes to severe weather.
Absolutely, and when we're talking about hurricanes and how scared oftentimes we get, and we don't want to drag out those hurricane panels and deal with all of that, having hurricane-resistant glass is another option that really allows you to not have to worry about your home, your family, that can sustain all of those heavy winds when that storm does come in.
And speaking of which, the quality is what is so important, and your windows and doors are tried, true, and tested.
Absolutely. So we did a durability test, and we took windows that were installed 20 years ago, and we let them go through real testing in the harshest climates, and it really gave us the information on how did those windows perform over 20 years. We uninstalled those windows, and we found zero degradation in the product as if it was just installed yesterday. So pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. And let's talk about the fact that this is a turnkey process, because a lot of people go into home improvement projects and don't realize that they're left doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Renewal by Andersen does everything.
It does. It's a turnkey process. So it really allows you to breathe easy as a homeowner and really set it up from the success of what you want, what are your desires from a design perspective, and get excited about that aspect. And then we take it from there. We do all the permitting, we do the install, and then we're there with concierge service throughout the process.
Now, is this something that folks could do over time if they don't want to do the entire home?
Absolutely. So a lot of times we see the projects, they want to start with where the sun is the strongest, where they're really seeing the energy envelope, with a problem of that harsh UV rays coming in. The technology of windows today is so superior to what the windows are that are in many of the homes that are getting renovated. So we want to make sure that technology is up to par so you can phase your job any way you would like.
And I love the fact that these windows are made right here in the good old US of A.
Absolutely. USA made, USA strong, and we're really proud of that for sure.
Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Gail.
And head to rbafla.com or call 813-377-3136 for more details about custom coastal impact windows and doors. Take advantage of this limited time offer and call today to set up your complimentary design consultation. Mention code BLOOM when calling and receive an additional 5% off your project. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Renewal by Anderson of Tampa.
Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Welcome back. There's a new trend of people turning to social media platforms like TikTok and other apps, which are filled with financial advice and following those leads. But here's the thing. Some of this information is reliable and the rest of it, not so much. Joining me now is the founder of Power Women Investing, Tiana Ronstadt, to break down everything you need to know. Man, this is a big problem, my friends.
It really is. And one of the things that I find is that it's one to get the best tips for my Trader Joe's to make my quick meal, right?
Yeah, right.
Even healthy tips. But when we're talking about money and finances and specifically taxes, we probably want to put a little bit of a skepticism around it. We want to say, what are some additional questions I should be asking just about myself?
Because you said a lot of people looked at the TikTok, reports, followed them to detail, and then found themselves being audited.
Correct. Especially this year, we saw a huge trend upward in this. And the biggest things are that sometimes you can't just use the standard deduction versus itemized. And again, not that I'm trying to even give tax advice. It's more about I need to make sure that I have that skeptic lens and then use some critical thinking. So part of when I say use the word critical thinking, I'm saying you want to ask more questions than them asking you questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%. And another thing, you just don't know who's out there.
Right.
I mean, because, there's that old saying, for every dollar you make, somebody else is trying to figure out how to spend $2 of it.
Right.
And it's like people are always figuring out how to take your money, and it seems like leaning on social media for advice is not always the best idea, or at least do your homework, because I'm sure there are credible people on the platforms.
100%. And just again, doing those additional, hey, I want to trust and verify what I'm getting. So is this a one-off that's just telling me this, or is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 telling me this? And obviously there's ways then to use Google to say, wait, trust but verify.
Now, I know you work with a lot of your older clientele, and this is a whole new world that we're living in, and everything, all of these phishing scams, they look so legitimate. I mean, we have to take programs and educate ourselves here at Nexstar and WFLA to avoid this, but it's so easy to fall victim and prey to this because they're so convincing.
100%, Gayle. And they're only getting better. One of the things that I've really thought about is that the hackers are never stopping. Whereas you and I, it's front of mind, somebody talks about it, and sometimes we're like, oh, I've already heard that. I've already heard that. The reality is you need to hear it again and again. And they've moved from kind of that grandchild scam, which was, hey, I've got your grandparent, I'm your favorite grandchild.
Right.
Oh my gosh. to the IRS. And I always tell, the IRS is not going to call you, and they're not going to say, hey, you owe us money and bring a check to Dale Mabry and Kennedy tomorrow. I mean, that's really what we're seeing. And they play on your fear. And the minute that they have your fear, right, that's our emotion that we either fight or flight. And a lot of people automatically go, okay, what do I need to do to fix it?
And you even have spotted people that's because of AI and how advanced things have gotten technology-wise, holding up a sign like buy Bitcoin, and they're using a legitimate person's image and a false claim.
100%. Where then, wait a minute, I even have my skepticism hat on, right? I think this is right. And those are ways that they overlay. So we also see that in online shopping, where you're maybe in Facebook or Instagram and you're like, oh, I want that. They've actually overlaid that, and you now are in a hacker's website thinking you're buying whatever it is that's being sold. So again, those are tough ones because you really want to look at you asking more questions. That's my biggest thing, is if somebody's asking you a lot of questions and they don't have a lot of information on you, they just have enough to make you scared, then you need to start asking them questions.
And I do follow you on social media. I see you trying to put a lot of information out there. But you should be working with somebody like yourself. If you're not sure, you should be able to pick up the phone or shoot a quick email with a question so your trusted financial advisor can help you figure out what's going on and help you figure out if it's real or not, because sometimes the vetting process can be so daunting and it can be so deceiving that you get caught in a trap no matter what. So when all else fails, lean on a trusted provider.
Absolutely. And anyone, if you don't have someone, I just encourage you, that would be another thing to add to your to-do list, maybe even over this summer. But if you can get a trusted advisor on your team, that is then your one-stop phone call. You literally can just say, hey, Tiana, this is what I got. This is what's going on. And then we can help you with the vetting.
Yeah, because if not, I mean, you're going to lose everything you work so hard for.
Correct. We hear it all the time.
And I know you do specialize on the emotional side of finances and what money means to us. So we really do appreciate you coming on and sharing all your knowledge with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Tiana. And we're going to post everything on bloomtampabay.com. We will be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by New Bath Today.
As many of us enter our advanced stages of life, here's one question to ask yourself. Is the space I shower in safe? Colin French of New Bath Today is here to explain how his team is helping customers avoid slip and fall accidents and doing it with style with walk-in showers from Kohler called Luxstone. Colin, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me on today.
So Colin, I understand New Bath Today is brand new to the Tampa Bay area. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Although we're new to the Tampa Bay area, we've been around for over 8 years in business, okay? We're actually the exclusive partner with Kohler and their Luxstone shower systems here in the Tampa, St. Pete area, okay, and the surrounding areas.
So why are people choosing New Bath Today for their shower remodel?
Well, there's always the people out there that want to change the look of their shower, cosmetic reasons, but primarily safety concerns, aging in place. There's over 200,000 adult injuries in the bathroom that occur every year. So we want to be able to come into the home and give a low profile step, easy in and out entry, customizable grab bars. We've even got some folding seat options as well.
I didn't realize the statistics were so staggering for these types of accidents. I know safety is essential. Can you explain what kind of performance you can expect out of these walk-in showers?
Great question. Our wall system, the Luxstone walls, phenomenal product, okay? They are solid, non-porous, so they're resistant to bacteria, mold and mildew, growth, things like that. As well as they're made of 70% crushed stone and fiber reinforced, so they're resistant to chipping and staining like common shower options like tile and fiberglass options out there.
And we're looking at before and afters. I mean, aesthetically, they're absolutely beautiful. Do customers have a lot to choose from when they're deciding what they want to do?
Yes, we're going to come into the home and do a 35-point inspection. bring in all the different wall colors, samples. We've got storage options, like I said, customizable grab bars and seating options that fold up and down as well. So a lot of different variety for our customers.
So a viewer picks up the phone, they can call you, you'll have somebody come to their home, kind of walk them through the process and maybe help them out making selections?
Yeah, we can get them down to a penny quote that's good for a year on their shower project that we designed in the house with them. We can get financing approved on the spot, and our customers are covered under a lifetime product and labor warranty.
That is really fascinating. And so is it a major project, or are you guys like a well-oiled machine where you get in there and get her done?
We are a well-oiled machine. Typically, our installers can come in and surgically remove the pre-existing tub or shower unit, start from the base up, and get our showers installed within typically 2 days.
And it really speaks volumes that a company like Kohler is, working together with you to make this happen.
We're actually only one of about 20 local home remodeling companies that do partner with Kohler across the United States, so very thankful. And
yeah, for people that don't understand, that's quite the brand name.
Absolutely, yes ma'am.
All right, well listen, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Glad we got to come on today.
Yeah, and we're excited to have you guys in Tampa, so thanks so much, Colin.
Thank you so much.
All right, call now, 813-437-2745 to schedule your risk-free in-home consultation. And we have a special Bloom Grand Opening special for Florida residents, a free shower door. That's up to a $2,000 value, plus $500 off a new Kohler Luxstone shower wall and low monthly payment options. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by New Bath Today.
It's time for your Bloom Boost, health news you might have missed. This week we are focusing on animal health, and we start with something for you cat lovers out there. According to a report from New Scientist, cats can distinguish their owner's voice from those of strangers, and they especially respond positively to what we colloquially call baby talk, but only when it comes from their owners. Researchers discovered cats were largely disinterested in the stranger's voice, even when those peoples used a sing-songy baby talk voice. And now on to dogs. Come to find out, they understand way more than just sit, stay, and other ordinary commands. A study out suggests that dogs read our body language and listen to our tone as well as our words. Dogs then combine all this data to understand us. The study used MRIs to screen dogs. When the researchers said, "good boy," in a praising tone, both the left and right sides of the dog's brains were activated. When they spoke the same words using a neutral tone, only the left side of the brain was activated, and the dogs didn't always grasp what was said. Well, it's time now for today's Bloom trivia question. True or false? New research suggests that daily application of sunscreen may even reverse sun damage. The answer is true. Findings from Australian researchers are the first to qualify sunscreen's anti-aging properties. The new study finds that regular sunscreen use protects against photoaging, the wrinkling, spotting, and loss of elasticity caused by exposure to the sun's ultraviolet radiation. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Bloom Health Club. You can catch it live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays at 2 p.m. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. You can watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. Vein disease affects more than 30 million people in the United States, and since most don't know the symptoms, they suffer in silence. Find out why people from around the world are coming to Tampa Bay for specialized vein treatment. And there's a new cookbook designed to help you create tasty experiences with your family and friends. We'll introduce you to the chef who wrote it and find out how it could change your entertaining experience. So stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by New Bath Today and Renewal by Anderson of Tampa.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.